Welcome back. My name is Ashley, and this is the Black Sheep Christian Podcast. And today I have the pleasure of speaking with, again, Byron Easterling. Thanks for joining.
You bet, Ashley. Always. What a treat. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yes, we were chit chatting just before. And
We were.
so we had a beautiful conversation before. And then you are having new books that are coming out that we're going to talk about.
Yes, brand new. I've been being pushed by a few friends and family. So it was time to go ahead and jump in and finish them up. And so that's what I've been doing since last time I was on your show. is
Yeah.
is really pushing out. I literally 3 books that are out, and we're working on several more. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So you have been really busy. 3 books at one time.
Well, they
That
had
is
been. They've been. Yeah, it was.
I really can't judge. I because I understand because I have a couple of books that are just like I'm guessing this is what's happening or what happened to you. Like you started something and then it just sat, and then you may have started something else, and then it sat, and then you went back, and then something else, and then you just kind of like over
Yep.
time just kind of floated between
Yep.
the projects.
Exactly. And the fiction stuff. I have a whole bunch of short stories I've been working on for several years, and I just thought, oh, what am I doing? Why am I writing fiction? What good is it going to be?
Yeah.
And I was on a walk. And it's like I was complaining, it's like, why write fiction? I write nonfiction. I write about my stories, my life. Those are, they're nonfiction, they're true to life stories. Why? And I love writing fiction, but I've never finished anything.
Mm.
And I'm taking a walk, and I'm complaining to God. Why? What a waste of time. And all I heard was in my spirit, so C.S. Lewis, he was a waste of time. Is
Mm.
that what you're saying? That fiction is a waste of time, that it
Mm.
can't be used in the kingdom? And I was like, oh, um, well, I, sure, yeah. So, needless to say, I sat down and got busy, and
Yeah.
just thought if I finish them, they're done, and if I want to keep going after that, I can. Yeah, so it's been a personal journey of completion. You know how that works,
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
right. I mean, yeah,
You're better than me. Um, it's really interesting that you have that conversation because it's making me think about my own. Now, I never had a conversation, or probably I'm just dismissing it. It could be just the second one. Since the last time we talked about was like listening to God, but it's interesting that you say that when you talk about you are an expert in writing a particular way, and then
mm,
now you are being led to writing something different, and you seeing the value and how God sees the
mm,
value in that writing style.
yeah. Because you could really say, well, what use is fiction to the world,
Right.
and to somebody who wants to build their faith?
Right.
What's it's a made up story.
Yeah.
It like why? Now that was my biggest complaint. I'm just wasting time,
Yeah.
and I, it's really wild back. So I don't know if you knew, or I mentioned last time that I took a season of my life to. Uh, I'd always, as a kid and into my high school and college age, um, I was a very good golfer. And I had several scholarships to college, and I turned them all down. Yeah. Needless to say, my dad wasn't overly thrilled by that. But, excuse me. And, um, and I was supposed to go pro, and I didn't. So later in life, in my 50s, I was challenged in 51 to go and join the senior tour or attempt to join the senior PGA Tour, which is called the Champions Tour. And so I did. I took that challenge, and it lasted about, well, total time about 6 or 7 years. I played solidly for 5. And I remember being on the golf course, and it's just my conversations with dad. It's kind of, you know, I'm walking down the golf course on a practice round, and I stop in the middle of the course and I feel God's presence. And I turn, and I was by myself, fortunately. I wasn't with other people. And I just said, "What?"
Oh, wow.
And I said, "What do you want? What is it?" Because the presence of God was so there. I was so in that moment, and all I heard in my spirit was, "I love doing this together."
Hmm.
And I was like, "Golf. You love doing golf with me." And I was like, "Wow, that's so God-like that He just loves the things we love because He's put them in our being."
Yeah.
It's like watching my granddaughter run cross country this afternoon,
Mm.
or later today. I'm going to, so I just see it. I see the joy of God in it, in her. She just
Mm.
loves doing it. And when we do the things we love doing, people see the joy of God in it.
Mm.
And anyway, that's how this writing has been in fiction. I've had to change my thinking to go, wait a minute, God really enjoys this with me.
Mm.
He's
Mm.
enjoying this moment, Yeah.
Wow. That makes me think how the way you say that, because before we started recording, we were talking about off camera
Mm,
about um, parents and being grandparents, and how living close to for a grandparent to live close to their grandchildren.
yeah.
And you are in a beautiful stage in your life, um,
Mm,
to be
mm,
able. That's the beauty of a grandparent, because I should take a step back and say, like, a grandparent is such a promotion, because hence grand,
mm.
big, wow.
I do
You
like that.
know?
I feel so grand.
A latte grande, grand, boom.
That's good.
There's nothing more joyful than being
Mm,
grand.
yeah.
And that is
Mm,
that what's beautiful, because about with grandparents is that you are at a stage where it is the fun things.
yeah.
It is, you are still able to be a parent, and where you guide and you assist, and you are able to still be able to, be part of a child's life and a parent's life, because you have been
Hmm.
those stages, and to be
Yeah.
able to mentor both, at
Yeah.
the same time. But it is the fun stuff. We were just talking off camera how, my mom was doing some of the fun stuff, with my daughter, and to how you talk about, you know, that example of God spending time with you to do something,
Mm,
um, is just a beautiful visual.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah. It's, excuse me. I yeah. And interesting. How the grandparent thing came up,
Yeah.
um, and feasibly, well, I won't go there, but, uh, I was, you're probably not too far from that. uh, you'll make a great grandparent one day.
We'll we'll see. We'll see. My child has clearly said, I mean, they're too young, way too young.
Oh yeah, yeah,
But
absolutely,
I
absolutely.
remember, because
Yeah.
you already kind of, I mean, children tell you right off the bat, who they are and what they're going to be into. supposedly,
Right. Yeah.
life makes changes. But my daughter was very like, I'm not having children. And I was like,
Oh, okay.
okay.
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay.
Okay, all right,
My,
that's cool.
my sister said that.
Yeah. And does and
And
does she
now
have
she's a
children?
grandparent. uh,
Uh, it's funny how God plays that
yeah.
game with us. So with your fiction, with your stories, I know
Yeah.
you brought your books with us.
Yeah.
Which one
Yeah.
do you want to talk about first?
I think this little bitty book
Oh, okay, okay.
called Out from the Shadows. It's the beginning of a six-part series. And
Oh,
so this is the setup. So it's extremely short. It's like, and I have it, you can get it
it's a
online for
weekend read.
99 cents. I mean,
Yeah,
you
it's a
can also
weekend
get
read.
it, if you're an Amazon, whatever they call it, you can get it for free. But um, this little book is what started it all
Mm,
because it's based on a personal revelation of time with God that I
mm,
started thinking, and it's a historical journey. So it's historical fiction a little bit, and it's about the promises of God for our nation. And now that it's not political in any way, it's
mm.
about this young man named Sam, who I stole because that's my son in law. Um, and his interaction with angelic activity combined with uh, history and the promises of God for who we are as a nation, and that they are not done yet. That God is not done with our nation, and there's lots and lots to do. And so it's a very simple setup, but fun. And it just, I've had really good results, really wonderful responses from readers on this. And I mean, it's literally, you can sit down in a commercial and read it. It's meant to be short. It's meant to be, I mean, literally 20 something pages. And that book, again, is a series of six books that are short stories that are bigger than this one, but they're on five different aspects of what God's been speaking to my heart about for the body of Christ as a whole. So they're very focused more on the body of Christ, those who believe and follow Jesus, um, versus, and some people might get it, but it's really things about what's it mean to be an influencer in the kingdom of God, how we're using language today, and how we need to change some language in our, and this, I mean, there's a list of, I've actually titled all of the books, but what's community? There's a whole book but it's allegory. So this book is allegorical. It's an allegorical short story. Um, and anyway, so that is probably the first one that I would highly recommend. And then you want me to go to the second one? You want me to move on? Up
Sure.
to you. Sure. So the second one is another book that's just out. It's a little bit bigger. It's called Falling Through the Stars. And Falling Through the Stars is about a gentleman who um, um, has an encounter with God, and he's fearful of it, and yet he keeps being brought into conversations. People are having dreams with him in it, um, and he ends up in this Catholic retreat center called Taizé in France, and it's where he encounters Christ. And this is a story that I want to be careful because of our audiences. This is a story about a Muslim man who um, it begins, he's outside the mosque on a Friday night, which is sort of a main Friday, it's their kind of a main service. And he's having a cigarette between, and he walks to the end of the building and he hears a voice say, "What if God touched the earth today?" And it's his journey of being touched by God. The frustrations, the concerns, the fears, because what's happening in our world right now is that a lot of people in the US don't know is that literally millions of Muslims are coming to Christ through dreams and visions and encounters with Christ they never planned on. And I have a friend in England who's a pastor there who pastors a church of refugees pretty much who have come in because they've had to leave out of fear of loss of life or in family and everything else. So I wanted to write about that journey of one man's his own personal journey and then his family's journey. That's so I have 3 books scheduled in that series, Falling Through the Stars.
That one really interests me the most, um, in the sense of some people don't. This is more like a theology aspect, but there's a lot of similarities when it comes to the Muslim faith and the Christian faith. The only
Yes.
thing that separates us is Jesus. I mean that's really the, and there's a few other like minor differences, but one of the major differences is that separates the two is who Jesus is. You
Yes.
know, in
Yes.
Christianity, we see him as the Son of God. You
Right.
know, the way we, I mean, Jesus says in our book, "I'm the way, the truth, and the light." And so the way we get through him is because of his sacrifice. The
Right.
Muslim just sees him as a prophet, just
Right.
like Samuel, as a like someone similar to Samuel is the
Right.
best way I
Yes.
can describe him. And so that is, but everything else between us, it is the same. And so that book interests me
Mm.
the most is because of it just makes me wonder that one aspect that
Yes.
separates us.
So in writing it, I had to do a lot of research so that I knew what I was talking about
Yeah,
because I'm talking about a Muslim man that I am not a Muslim. So and I
right,
discovered not only do they, yes, they believe he's a good prophet and teacher, they
right,
believe in Jesus, but
right.
and they believe of his virgin birth,
Yes,
and
yes,
they believe of his ascension.
yes,
The big difference is that one place between
yes,
that they don't believe he died
right,
first and
right,
sacrificed. They just leave that bit out.
yes,
And it's like, what happened there?
yes,
You
yeah,
know, what
yeah,
happened there? And and I think that's what happens is they're not opposed to Jesus. And I,
no,
and so it wasn't it was kind of cool because he does experience Esau, which is
yeah,
Jesus in their language.
yes,
And I want to use that language, so I am, And the next story is about him coming back after having encountered Christ
yeah,
in Jesus, Esau, and then having his
yeah,
wife has been traveling with him in this journey, but now there's the next book is a bit concerning. There's a little more friction going to be in the next book, but yeah, thank you.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah. I think
actually, here's what I'm gonna do.
okay,
When you post this and you tell me the date, I'm going to make this book available for that day for anybody who wants to download the ebook for free.
okay,
So I will connect on that and I
okay.
will set that up so that anybody listening can go and get this book, Falling Through the Stars, for free today. I
Okay.
will say, because today is the day that it will be available to anybody who wants to get it as a free download on it as an ebook. Cool.
Nice. That is
Yeah.
cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I'd
Thank you.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing that when it comes to Muslims and Christians that I do commend Muslims on,
Mm,
especially devout Muslims, um, prayer. Those people
mm,
know how to pray. They know how to pray. They
yeah.
know how to pray on time. They can pray,
Yeah.
and that is one thing between the two communities, between Muslims
Mm,
and Christians, that I think they know how to do right is
mm,
pray.
mm.
I
That's
could be
interesting.
completely wrong. I mean, there are probably Muslims out there walking around, and they'd be like, I don't really follow, but
Well,
I know I know a couple of Muslims, and they have their schedule on lock, and that is one thing I admire about them
yeah.
is their prayer life is very consistent.
Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. 5 times a day.
Yes.
And now I've been in Turkey, which is highly Muslim country,
Yeah.
and there are you know
Were they lukewarm just like the
yeah,
rest of us?
yeah, but and you have your devout believers who,
Yeah.
but I think it's what you're saying is there's a call to that's a part of their faith
Yeah.
that is provided for, that maybe isn't naturally provided for in our community.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, there are places that do that, like Taizé, this place. There are more in the Catholic vein of our
Okay.
faith is more organized or structured prayer times. You
Okay.
know, um, one of the coolest things I like. Many Catholic retreat centers or different areas will have the stages of the cross that
Yeah.
in gardens, and you can walk the stages of the cross and pray. And you
Yeah.
can make those. You don't have to follow a specific rule. What I love about that is it gives you something to guide you through. And I think maybe that's something you're talking about.
Mm.
It's I don't want I want the knowledge that I can pray what's necessary in the moment.
Mm. That's valid.
I don't want rote prayers because I don't think ultimately um, it's heart. Heart is the issue
Right.
with God,
Correct.
but we don't provide the avenues for prayer. So
Yes.
prayer becomes. I'll be honest. Prayer becomes this thing old ladies do. That's kind of what it feels like. Oh,
Yes.
yeah, that's what the old ladies in the church do. And it's
Yes.
you know
Yeah, valid because valid because the women, the elders, the women in the church, they they can pray hard and they can pray well.
That's
And I
right.
remember there was a situation that I was going through, and I don't even remember what it was, which says something in itself. But anyways, I prayed as I was supposed to, and I didn't feel like it reached God. And then
Mm,
I went to, which I felt at the time, I didn't call her my mentor, but she felt like that to me. And I told her, I said, I know God will listen to you
mm,
because this woman could pray and then God will provide. And
mm,
so when I went to her, and I don't know when she prayed for me, I just know I went to her and asked for prayer, and then
wow.
God answered.
Mm.
And not too long after. And so I know.
She's tied in. She's tied in to they get rid of all that stuff. They don't have to fake it. There's no fake in it. It's just
No,
let's get
no,
down to it. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. So if anybody's learning how to pray or a baby prayer and it's a situation, it's okay to go to somebody and be like, I need for you to pray for me, especially like a hardcore warrior, because
Yeah, that's right.
man,
That's
they
good. Yeah.
they just I don't know what it is. That line just goes straight up and God would just Make it rain.
Hey, I got it. That's awesome.
Oh, goodness. So, what is your third book?
Oh, the third book is called Curious Tales of a Common Man.
Oh, yes.
And so my daughter, my wife, a number of people that I mentor, um, I they have been challenging me. They said it's great that we know your stories, but we think you should be writing your stories down. So I started just going through and writing a list of, of all the different stories of 45 years in ministry and 40 years traveling the globe. And so each book I'm going to do, I have three scheduled. I could do more, but I don't know if I want to. But at this point, it's 12 to 15 stories in each book. And what's cool about this is I just wrote the stories, and then we sat together and created questions that you can get involved with. You can follow up in your own journey and let it be a trigger to what God's doing in you. There's calls to action. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the same thing I did with Falling Through the
Yeah.
Stars. I'm going to do with this is I'll put them both available for ebooks on that day, on the day of release today. And so you can go there right now and get that book, um, um, both of those books as free downloads. I'll just do that. And I'll try to do that even without it out from the shadows. I have to make sure that's available.
That's okay. That's fine. That's fine. I'm blessed. I'm blessed with the two. The third one, that one is beautiful. And because you're passing down knowledge,
Mhm.
and that is it's interesting that we're having this conversation now because um, I'm going to my cousin's wedding,
Oh,
and decided to make the trip to go there because it was a bit inconvenient, with the timing. But when my
mhm.
mom was telling me, oh, because my great aunts are going to be there,
Oh,
and so they never met my daughter, for one. And
oh,
then
wow.
two, I haven't seen them for years. And so I find it beautiful that you wrote down,
Mm,
stories
mhm,
that you have come across because the one beautiful thing about stories is fiction or nonfiction is that stories reveal something about you,
mm.
when and how you receive that story.
Oh, that's
And
good.
so to be able to have the opportunity to talk to see my great aunts again is a moment for them to pass
Yeah.
down stories.
Oh, man.
That
Absolutely.
that is a
Put your
dessert,
phone on too.
right?
Put your phone on, record those stories.
Right. I mean, to for you to write those stories down
Mm.
is a dessert in itself,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there are this, yeah, absolutely. So in this one, like, um, I think it's 12 stories. Um, everything from, I have different titles. I was in London. I was doing a conference there, and I call it flower pelting in London. It was a very odd story. We got thrown in prison. My wife and I and daughter got thrown in prison in Turkey because of giving the gospel, and they were just, just for the night. It wasn't anything bad. Um,
Was
Probably,
it comfortable? Was it comfortable?
no, 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 it wasn't comfortable.
I,
We didn't.
sometimes I say that because sometimes there are some prisons that are outside the United States that are like, oh my gosh, that looks really comfortable over there. Like,
Oh
like,
yeah, no,
like,
no,
how
this
do you
wasn't.
put a family in a?
Well, let
That
me
may
just say
sound
that
dumb in the beginning, but if some people be searching what some prisons are outside of the United States, some of them look comfortable.
really, yeah, this was like a very bad dorm room. This
Okay.
is like a very small, very, very narrow, well used dorm room with uh, no accessories much. And w- let's just say
But
we didn't get fed, but we got
oh,
locked
so
in.
they didn't even so for the night. So what were they charging you with? Disorderly conduct or
We have
something?
no idea.
Oh, okay. So
We were
you just
brought
pissed
in,
somebody off. You
we
pissed
were
somebody
locked
off.
in. What's that?
So you just pissed somebody off.
Probably. Yeah, I think probably we just, um, um, I think the mayor of a town, uh, we were generally very well received,
Yeah.
incredibly well received. And uh, it's just we were driving along, and basically the story goes is that my wife, daughter, and I are in the van with with the guy who set all this up and all of the equipment with some of the equipment, and the band, the rest of the band is in this nice. They got to travel in this really nice bus. And I'm like, why can't we travel on the bus? But for some reason, well, anyway, they veer off to the left, which I'm guessing was we found out later was going to a very nice hotel in the area, and we went straight ahead through this kind of barbed wire fence and compound, and the band had no idea where we were. They were
Wow.
freaking because I was leading the band, so they had no idea where we were. We had no idea where we were, and we
Wow.
had no idea where they were, you know. So we just heard the click click of the locks, and the next morning, the unclicking of the locks, and they took us to the hotel. And yeah, very
Wow.
strange. It was just a night, so it wasn't anything bad, but it's just stories like that. Um, yeah, fun stories though. They end up being fun.
Sure.
Sure, they're
How old was your
faithful.
daughter? How old was she?
Let's see, Turkey. She would have been 12.
Oh, so she was well aware.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And she
Okay.
was so calm. She didn't think about it. In fact, she was tired. She just fell asleep, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And
That's a blessing in
she,
itself. Because as a
we
parent,
were,
I would have been like, ooh.
we did a concert in a town called, well, it's Yalvach is the name now, but it's the town in Acts 13 called Pisidian Antioch, where Paul traveled. Because we went and we did concerts where Paul traveled in
Yeah.
Turkey,
Ooh.
and yeah, so we ended up doing this concert in the ruins of the moon god Diane or something like that. But all these people, Muslims, came out, and we did it. I'm a jazz guy, so we did our whole concert was based around jazz, and we do a few worship style tunes in a more jazz based concept. Um, and the people started doing their like folk, like dancing and joining in. And our daughter ended up, we were setting up, this 12-year-old girl always did this. She always wandered off somewhere. And now she has one of her own like that. Anyway, we were setting up, we were getting sound checks, doing setup for the evening, and we can't find our daughter anywhere. Come to find out, she's down in the town with a whole group of kids and their parents, just hanging out with them, just having a blast. Can't speak the language, doesn't know, but they're just having an awesome time together. Anyway, that's, such great stories. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. That was a
yeah.
Jesus moment when Jesus when Mary and Joseph lost their son. And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
why are you
Well,
so worried? I'm just
yeah,
here. I bet she probably looked the same way to you. Like, what's going on?
exactly.
I'm just
I've just
here.
been here. What's the big deal? I've been here the whole time.
Like, what are you worried about? I'm just doing some
Yeah,
Jesus things, just hanging
yeah.
out.
We're 6,000 miles away from home and don't know the language. Yeah, we're. Mm,
Oh, that's
yeah,
beautiful. That's
yeah,
beautiful that you wrote that.
yeah.
That you even obeyed
Mm,
um, God to write those, to write all of them, and there's more. I mean, it wasn't. It's not even a short. It's not even a small project.
no, it's. I mean, I have 60 stories that I can pull from that I feel like have
Yeah.
any real impact, and I'll probably do, like I said, 12 to 15, 12 in this book, probably 12 to 15 in the next. Each book will have 12 to 15. So I might even get to 4 books on it over, time. I
Yeah.
hope to do one next year. Um, there's, anyway, a lot going
Wow.
on.
That is a lot going on.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Now I
Wow.
just got to find people to read them.
I don't think that's going to be a problem. I mean, if God told you to write it, I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
He already knows the people who are going to read it.
yeah. I just would hope they'd read it now, not in 100 years. there's a there's a little book. There's a little book that I found long, long time ago called "The Practice of the Presence of God" by
Yeah.
brother Lawrence. Well, he was what, 15th or 16th century monk or 14th century monk
I
that
don't.
is now popular. So, I mean, the stories. Hey, that's what it's meant to be. That's what it'll be. Somebody will find some hidden book on Amazon in 200 years.
That is funny. I need to look. I need to look that up because I mean, I don't know who you just said. I was
Oh, Brother Lawrence, yeah, called The Practice of the Presence of God.
yeah,
And it changed my life from
really
being I want to make sure I say this correctly because it's not for me in my life.
yeah.
I was Presbyterian youth pastor. I was doing everything I could to love Jesus. This book showed me how to activate and be in the presence of God
Mm,
day to day, moment by moment. And it's just a little book with these letters that he and his bishop wrote. He's a Catholic monk. He was actually a wealthy guy who gave up all his wealth and went into the monastery and became a brother,
mm,
pretty much just washed dishes most of his life. He went into servanthood and of to this monastery, and he was a French monk. And so much happened during that season in France, in that region, in the kingdom of God. And I tell you, that book changed my life. I
mm.
mean, and I still have it ready, handy. I sometimes I'll just pick it up and read one letter, and it'll remind me that to follow Jesus is an authentic quest of the heart,
Mm,
not a pursuit of a system. I'm
mm.
not pursuing a system. I'm pursuing the heart of God and his relationship with me that he has with me. You know,
Yeah.
that knowledge that God loves us unconditionally and without lack or loss. You know,
Mm.
yeah.
Well
And this,
said.
yeah.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to finish by that's what that little book, The Practice of the Presence of God, did for me. It just made me aware that I think it just made me aware that I believed in Jesus. I believed in God, but I don't know if I believed he was real in my life.
Mm.
And this is what that little book did. It made him real. Um, Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think we miss that. I think a lot of us miss that, um, in the sense of the realness.
Mhm.
And a lot of it has to do, I could be wrong, because it could be us doing it to ourselves, when we like you and me,
Mhm.
talking, it feels it's real. I see
It's
you,
real.
you
Yes.
see me. If we were in the same room,
Yep.
we
Exactly.
could, like
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
the senses, our
Absolutely.
senses that he gives us is working, and we're using them to the max.
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
the five
Yeah.
senses to the max. But God is outside of these five senses.
Mm, mm, mm.
And we just don't know how to use them because there's such a separation with this sixth sense. I'm
Wow.
just naming something, you know.
Right.
I'm
Right.
just naming something to name it. Um, and I know he separates himself from us on purpose, because of sin, all those things. But that separation is just so, it just feels so, it's bigger than it should be,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah.
That's me talking through what you just said, you know?
Mm.
That's just me talking through what you just said by reading that book and what that book did for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It closed it. It shut that gap.
Yeah.
It removed that gap is what
Yeah.
it did. It removed that gap because the lie is that he is separate from us.
Mm, mhm,
That is the lie, that he is outside of us.
mhm.
And yet, how can a God who created something be outside of it?
Yeah.
If you believe that this world and we are created by this amazing being, God, that we call God, then how is it possible that he could separate himself
Yeah.
from his creation? It's impossible. You cannot separate. I cannot separate myself from this creation.
Mm.
I can't say I didn't do it. I did it. I created it.
Yeah.
I can say I don't like it.
Yeah.
I can say I don't want it. I can say it's not very good or nobody likes it. I can say all those, but I cannot say I didn't create it.
Yeah.
And God said in the very beginning that he said it was
Yeah.
good. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So this whole thing is all good, you know?
Great example. Well said. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. But
Yeah.
I do pray that people read your story, and I do
Thank
pray that
you.
you continue to write,
Thank
to
you.
be able for you to step outside of something that you are comfortable in,
Mm,
um,
mm.
is is an amazing step.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, what a treat. What a treat.
It is. It
Yeah.
is a treat. But yeah,
Yeah.
all the books are available on Amazon, everybody. All
They
his
are.
books are available on Amazon, and you have a website as well.
I do. All under Byron Easterling. So Byron Easterling on Amazon, byroneasterling.com. Yeah. Yeah. It's just all about me.
You are funny. On a side note, are you still doing your podcast?
No, I haven't. I've kind of turned that corner. I wish I could. I, I want, I wanted to do it live, person to person, because of exactly what you brought up. I, I, I've wanted to do something that's face to face because you get that. These are great. I'm so honored to be a part of this. It was just, I had come to a place where I'm like, I wonder what it would be like to do it live and in person.
Yeah.
And so I tried, but the place I was using, sound wise, it didn't work. Um, and so I was like, I'm just going to wait and see what comes out of that. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
pray for you over that
Thank you.
because you are just I think it's your presence. Your spirit is just very beautiful. Um,
Oh,
it is just I know you're a grandpa and it just feels very like it just feels very grandpa. It's like I want to go over and just have a seat
hang
and just
out.
listen. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
There are
You're
just
welcome.
certain grandparents,
Yeah.
that you don't need to say anything, you don't need to do anything. All you need to do is just sit and just watch them do their thing all day.
Uh,
And you're one of them.
well, wow, that's very encouraging. Thank you. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, I am going to go be a grandparent and watch my granddaughter run her cross country. And
Yes.
yeah, so
And I
again,
will
yeah, go ahead.
no, no, I keep interrupting. I'm sorry.
I was
I'm
just going to
sorry.
say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for letting me be a part of your show and just the conversation. I love you first invite it. You're very inviting that way. You invite us into the conversation, and it's not just a bunch of it's like you're following the flow and you're
Mhm,
allowing that to happen. And
mhm.
that's so I'm so appreciative of that. And that um, you're a good interviewer, and you're also very smart. So
Thank you. Thank
you
you.
easily wow. So yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, everybody, I just want to thank you for watching. We got to let this grandpa go. And so he can support
Yeah,
his grandchild because
I'm telling
listen,
you.
if you are a parent or a grandparent, the words from my daughter
Mm.
was because my dad will wear a particular hat, and then because we'll be in big crowds, and my daughter would look for a hat that my dad would wear, this particular hat, and when they saw that hat, they knew that it was us, and so it just melted everything away. And
Wow.
yeah, it melted everything away. So parents, grandparents, if your kid isn't expressive, it
Mm.
is a beautiful thing to be there
Mm.
because when they get older, they will let you know how that made them feel.
Wow.
Yeah, how they
So
made.
I better go be grand.
Yeah, go be grand. So thanks for watching, everybody. Remember, God is love, and God wants us to show his love to the world.
Mm.
Until next time, later.
See you.